try to exit the car.
We're going to talk about stupidity. And there's a lot of that going on in this world, certainly on YouTube, but we're going to talk about what happens to the body during starvation and how, let's put it this way, scientists have never done any experiments with people to see how long they will live without food because the responsibility of that, they could not take that responsibility leading to somebody's death. However, they do have certain guidelines and they do have certain information that basically is been proven. Are there benefits? First of all, let's discuss something. Are there benefits to going on such a fast? There are benefits to that, actually. There's a lot of benefits to that. Cancer can't, for example, can't live in an environment without glucose. They feed on that as cancer cells. That's a good thing. And it can actually restore, there's a lot of restorative qualities to fasting. That's all good. And under supervised situations, look, even Mahatma Gandhi was always going on, hunger strikes, from India, Mahatma Gandhi. And he fasted up to 21 days with only sips of water, which, of course, he looked like a skeleton. Now, first of all, can you lose weight by fasting? You could lose a lot of body weight by fasting. That's true. What happens to the body? Now I'm going to read this off. And there's a script here. I'm reading it. And we might get a little deeper into this, but let me tell you what happens to the body. And let's just read this. Your body runs on the energy provided by the calories in the food we eat, right? So when you stop eating, your body starts to break down its own tissues for food. It disrupts all the vital processes of your systems. It results in severe weight loss and can lead to organ failure. So what happens to the body during starvation? Well, your central nervous system, the brain usually takes up to 1/5 of the total energy that the body consumes in a day. During starvation, the brain gets deprived of this energy, which affects the way it functions and may lead to trouble concentrating and sleep problems. Then your cardiovascular system during starvation, energy levels decrease and affect the way that the heart works. Hello, Bruce. Due to lack of energy, the heart cannot pump blood across the body as effectively as it should, leading to a decrease in blood pressure and your pulse. Initially, there is a low blood pressure and low pulse, and then eventually the heart fails. All right, your gastrointestinal system. Decreased food intake affects digestion and emptying of food in the stomach, leading to bloating, nausea, vomiting, and decreased blood sugar levels and constipation. In the long term, the muscles in the digestive tract weaken and may lose the strength to push the food forward through the gut when you decide to eat. Starvation may lead to severe complications such as pancreatitis, which is the inflammation and swelling of the pancreas that causes severe stomach pain, nausea, and vomiting. Then just go to your endocrine system. To produce hormones, the endocrine organs need dietary fat and cholesterol. In the absence of food, the body cannot produce hormones such as testosterone, estrogen, and thyroid hormones, leading to weakness in the bones, reduction in the metabolism rate, irregularity or complete cessation, well, if you're a woman, of menstruation, hypothermia, a drastic decrease in the body's temperature, dry skin, and brittle hair or hair loss. So to protect the body from hypothermia during starvation, the body produces a feathery covering of hair called loango, which keeps the body warm. Yeah. So During these days of starvation, the brain gets 20% of its energy from what we call ketones. And this number increases to about 60% during prolonged starvation. That is so-called ketogenic diet that people go on. What it does is it utilizes the principle of ketosis to lose weight. However, followers of that diet still eat foods that are rich in calories, such as protein, as opposed to stopping eating entirely. So in other words, okay, well, here we go. Can you survive before dehydration kills you? If it gets down to that with dehydration, usually a person can survive only 3 days without water. Okay, not a long time. It goes to prove that your body needs water. You can get away with food for a while, but the human body undergoes following changes if you had to go dehydration. You get brain damage, but that's not pertaining to what some people are trying to do with long-term food deprivation and purposeful, which is actually insane. Now, we got this goober on here because I'm going to go 100 days without food, or at least 15. Well, actually, the human body, but it's according to your own health, underlying conditions you might have or might not know you have. If you have anything going on with your heart that maybe you're not aware of, or any other organ in your body, and according to your age. So let's say a man, who's in his late 60s, and it just happens to be somebody out there that we're basically talking about, obviously, who wants to go on a diet to lose weight. He's grossly obese, besides being ugly, and he wants to lose weight. Okay, we understand when you're obese, you want to lose weight. But you see, guys, there is a proper way of doing this kind of shit. Okay, and generally supervised. It is not actually an intelligent thing to do at an advanced age because of unknown factors of your own body. What's going on health-wise that you don't know about. Anything going on with any of your organs, your heart. When somebody tries to prove you can do something, whether it's to prove their manlyhood or whatever it might be, and they do something as stupid as this, unsupervised, okay, first of all, yes, your body's going to feed off itself. Okay, this autophagy that goes on. Your body's going to feed off itself. Okay, and initially for the first 3 or 4 days, you're going to lose a lot of your weight in water, actually. And that means you're depriving. Remember, your body's made of like 70% water. So you're removing a lot of water weight from your body. That's in the first 4 or 5 days. From there on, excuse my dogs here. From there on, your body will basically feed on itself, but it's also pretty much destroying your muscles. So, with that being said, that's not a good start. I mean, it really isn't, because then you're going to lose all your muscle tone or whatever muscles you have. They're going to be breaking down. It's a serious thing to go on a diet when there's a lot of unknown factors. Now it's just to prove your body needs water. If you went for 3 or 4 days without water, you could die. But if you're going on a long-term diet, then yes, you'll lose the weight, first of all, with the water. You'll lose the weight that's from water, even though you might be drinking water, because you're still going to lose, and you're going to dehydrate the body. Okay, so 3, 4 days, sure, you're drinking water. But it doesn't really replace everything, because your body is made up of over 70% water. Okay, so people can survive. They can survive up to 3 weeks after they stop eating. However, without staying hydrated, of course, without water as well, the human body, 3 to 5 days. They think that a person can live up to 3 weeks without food as long as they have water to drink. But they've never tested that on anybody because they don't want the responsibility of their death. Okay. So what happens if you don't eat food for 15 days? Okay, let's go through this. Your body's going to begin to break down muscle tissue to provide energy. However, your body is designed to conserve muscle, but anyway, not break it down. So this phase provides temporary energy. You might feel energetic at first while your metabolism is making a major shift. Okay. Let's say 10 days, because your body survive, not eat for 10 days. Your body will lose its lean muscle. There's a risk that your heart muscle may become weak. It can damage other organs if extended beyond 10 days. Can you survive 16 days without food? Let's go further. Generally speaking, most adults can survive. They can go up to possibly a month without food, with known exceptions lasting over 2 months. However, children can only survive a few days to a few weeks. Well, these are only rough estimates, and your actual survival time will depend on a lot of different factors, Okay, let's go to 21 days. As the term describes, a 21-day water fast is a 3-week water fast, meaning that 21 full days. You could only consume water and non-caloric beverages and electrolytes, but no food or calories containing beverages. It is imperative that you speak extensively with your doctor before trying this. Some people want to go on a water fast, which is stupid. That's what we're talking about here in this one. Okay, well, how much weight can you actually lose if you don't eat for 3 weeks? It's really hard to know exactly how much weight you'll lose, but it depends on how much you currently weigh. But as a general guideline, if you're currently, you're only 120 pounds, and you don't eat at all for 3 weeks, you can expect to lose about 18 pounds. How much weight will you lose by not eating for 10 days? Okay. Is it safe not to eat? Well, let's just say what happens if I only drink water for 10 days, okay? Although water fasting may have some health benefits, it comes with a lot of risk and dangers. For example, water fasting could make you prone to muscle loss, dehydration, blood pressure changes, and a variety of other health conditions. You're going to just drink water. You want to, but let's go through the 3 stages of starvation. You got your metabolic process. And there's a whole process here. Actually, I'm not going to read this. Okay. This idiot's talking about doing how many days without, or he's going to go 100 days. Well, that's so fucking ridiculous. And those statements are made basically, I'm sure, for entertainment purposes, because even this guy has, as much of a goober that he is certainly not going to survive that. Can you survive 24 days without eating? Well, it's not the first example of humans subsisting on next to nothing for long periods of time. There's a Japanese hiker, Mitsutaka, who survived 24 days. And this is back in 2006 without food and water. After he went missing during a climbing trip in western Japan, he was found with a body temperature of 22 degrees centigrade, which is 71 degrees Fahrenheit, nearly 15 centigrade below normal. Okay, so, it's like, okay, let's go 3 weeks. Let's just say 3 weeks, man. You can survive for 3 minutes without air and oxygen or icy water. You can survive for 3 hours without shelter in a harsh environment, like icy water. You can survive for 3 days without water if sheltered from a harsh environment. You can survive for 3 weeks without food if you have water and shelter. But it's what happens to your body during that days. So when anybody says, well, okay, let's talk about the organs. What organs are affected by starvation? The heart, lungs, if you're a woman, ovaries, if you're a male, testes, they shrink. So this guy's not very well endowed to begin with. So you can imagine his fucking testicles probably the size of fucking marbles after a while. And then you feel weak. All right? So what happens to the organs? What happens to the body during starvation? It runs on the energy provided by the calories in the food we eat, remember that. So when you stop eating, your body starts to break down its own tissues. It's breaking down its own tissues for food. It's disrupting all the vital processes of your system that results in severe weight loss, yes, but can lead to organ failure. So what we're basically saying here is, you're either born a fool or you somehow acquire being a fool during your life. And to try to prove something to somebody. Now, we have an individual here that says he's going on a starvation diet. Now, we don't know if he's eating a few pieces of pork in between. We don't really know that. And yes, he will eat weight if he doesn't eat much, but I don't particularly believe in this particular person's situation that he's not touching food. I don't buy that, and I never will. Because advanced stage, and as obese as he is, okay, and he has some other problems with high blood pressure and everything else. So this is nonsense. This is complete nonsense. Will he lose weight by not eating much? And let's just say he's not touching food at all, or he is touching food. If he's not eating any food at all, it's pretty obvious that, he has there's a possibility that there's going to be organ breakdown. Okay, and this is extensive. Okay, so if he's not eating a lot, and he's just eating a little piece of pork here and there, putting something in his mouth, okay, that's a little bit different. He will lose weight. He will. And that's what I think he's doing. Because his face does look thinner, but we haven't seen his belly. And he claims he lost 6 inches on the belly. Well, you could, number one, start by losing all the water in your body. Okay, and that could be a drastic weight reduction initially. Then when you deprive yourself of the food, of course you're going to lose weight. But at what risk? Breaking down all your muscle tissue. No proteins. Your muscles are being eaten at. Okay? This is what you're doing to prove how much of a man you are, which is so fucking stupid. He wants to show us he'll never have a six-pack because when you lose all that food, weight, all you're going to have is flubber. It's just going to be all flubber. The son of flubber, Yeah. Like in that old science fiction movie back in the 50s or so. You remember The Blob? Boy, if you can remember that one. It was such a horribly made movie, but at the time, it was made for these drive-in theaters where guys take their girls to make out. And it was scary to them at the time compared to some of the science fiction we have these days. So, The Blob, if the blob got on you, it just ate you up. But that's exactly what happens. Let's use The Blob science fiction movie as an example. The blob attacks you and just absorbs you. Well, when you're fasting in such a way, it is absorbing all valuable tissue and muscle, and it is causing havoc on the body. Yeah. I mean, look, sometimes people show off on here. They want to show how many subs they have, how many super chats they have. And that's nobody dies from that, okay? But try to prove yourself to be a man all the time by doing stupid things and by making stupid statements. A real man works with tools, a real man blah, blah, blah. A real man knows how to build something, a real man... I don't know where these people come up with this shit. But it's part of the Napoleon complex, and there's probably a whole lot of analogies we could make on a person who is trying to prove so hard what a man they are when they don't even have a girlfriend. They actually have man boobs and, things like that, and don't have much of a, okay, take care. All right. Have a good day. I mean, people do such stupid things to prove things. Now, if you're a good person, for example, you don't have to prove you're a good person. It's by how you treat people and what you do in your life. Certainly off YouTube and whatever. Do you, are you a generous person? Are you a giving person? Are you a caring person? Are you a loving person? Are you a passionate person? That's what a human is. When you're opposite of that, you're subhuman. And boy, do we have subhumans on here. Nobody has to prove they're a man, either by growing a beard to look more macho or, do shows every day working with some antiquated, rusted tools and not really performing anything that's of any value at all or any sensibility at all, just to show people, hey, I could operate this tool, and half the time they can't. I remember this buffoon. He was working with a grinder, electric grinder on something, right? And he's out there in the rain, and he got this electric shock that almost threw him. Charles Luciano, man. What's up? Allo promised Fazio that he would be his lover if he lost 100 pounds. Well, that wouldn't surprise me. Well, Fazio supposed to lose 100 pounds just to come to Bantayan here and meet me at the Cuckoo Bar restaurant to get on his hands and knees to perform fellatio. I don't know what that's all about, but that's kind of taken in a different direction. But, getting beyond the humor of that, basically, losing 100 pounds ain't going to make you a tough guy, and you're not going to have any muscle. I mean, right there, you're not going to have any muscle. So how are you going to be a tough guy if you lose 100 pounds and you lost all your muscle mass? You're son of flubber. What's that going to do for you? So, part of the time he's being just a wise guy asshole. And part of the time, he's just doing things for entertainment. But a lot of the time, the guy is totally delusional and, doesn't realize some of the things that come out of his mouth. And if he could kind of remove himself from himself, what I mean by that is, if he didn't know he was who he was looking at a video of himself, okay? And if he could somehow step back from who he is, like he was just looking at somebody else on a video, doing the same stupid and the buffoonery and all the shit that he does, he'd probably say, boy, this person is a fucking psycho case. I mean, if you could step back and just look at yourself, somehow independent from your own being, that, I'm not explaining this very well, but I think you got my point. You see, for example, if you lost your memory, you didn't know who the fuck you were, and you went to, are you going to go over to the court? All right, I'll see you when you get back.
Yeah.
I'll find something for breakfast. I'm not sure.
I your tea already.
You made something?
Tea.
Oh, you made my tea? Oh, okay, thank you. Appreciate that. All right. Yeah. Perhaps he is feeding himself Snickers. Look, the one thing that we all know about this individual, okay, is that he's a chronic liar, habitual liar. And I really didn't want this show to be under the attack of somebody, but we are talking about, in general anyway, it just happens that this person is trying to do a starvation diet. And all I'm really saying is that he's, if anything, he's reducing what he eats. But, I'll bet you Dunkin' Donuts to, Krispy Kreme that he is eating every day. Just that he's not eating a lot. And yes, reduction of calories will result in reduction of weight. A male, I believe, needs about 20 200 calories per day. So when you're not getting your 2,200 whatever calories per day, yes, your body's going to feed on itself. You're going to lose weight. There's no question about that. Okay, none at all. We have no problem with that. That is how it works. Males and females have a different caloric need per day. Males needing a little bit more calories than a female would. So yes, you can lose weight by reducing your food intake every day, but doing it drastically can result in disaster. That's just a known fact. Yeah. And I don't have a problem with anybody wanting to fast, but you know, the sensibility factor, you have to do it with education or supervision. You can't just not eat. Now, you know, he's not the healthiest tool in the toolbox, besides being the brightest one or the sharpest tool. Proven now by what he's saying he's doing. I don't need food. Yeah, I know. We don't need food to survive. We also don't need oxygen to survive either, you fucking buffoon. You're special, okay. You're special. We understand that how special you are. Living in a fucking shack, you know, filthy shack, you know, and no girlfriend the whole time he's lived in the Philippines. You know, tried to pretend that Daisy was his girlfriend, but she was not his girlfriend. Then he was like insane to begin with. But then when Daisy left him, and then later I found out that Daisy was cavorting with another man that he pretended he knew about, and they had an amicable breakup, which they did. He had no idea that Daisy was bumping uglies with this guy that she met at her friend's wedding. And he had no idea at all. He had no clue whatsoever. But of course, he turns around and says, well, you don't have to tell me what's going on because, you know, we talked about this. I knew about this guy when he didn't know about this guy. Because I'm the one that posted a photograph on there of Daisy and this other guy in a hotel room, cheek to cheek, posing for a photograph. And then later on it became known that she was with this guy. But he was in total denial of that fact. He was like hit with a fucking 2x4 in the head, which happens to him on his yard all the time. He's always having some plywood or something slip into his feet, causing a big gash in his leg, or falling off ladders or whatever, or falling in from the termite-infested wood in his shack, or even in the yard, walking on a walkway with wood and collapsing, and he's falling down. How many times have we seen that? Jesus Christ. Oh, man. Yeah, he's entertainment, all right. We got to give him that, though. He's entertainment. He's pure entertainment. Oh, boy. But, people go into a state of denial, and it's not one of the 50 states in the United States. It's a totally different state of confusion, of not wanting to believe something about themselves or others. And when you go into a state of denial, it can be dangerous too, I'll admit when I'm wrong about something, it may not come out that moment, but I'll come around, I'll think about something that I said, whether it was on YouTube to somebody or in my private life. I will always admit that I am wrong. And I've done this on YouTube, right, guys? Have I not fessed up and said, hey, man, I've done some wrongs on here, like other people have, okay? And I fessed up to it. That's being a man. That's what a real man does. And he has no fucking clue about being a real man in every fucking way. Fess up. Own up. Own up. You gotta own up if you want to be a real man. Never mind putting a tool in your hand or trying to prove something. You want to be a real man? You own up to the crap that has come out of your mouth through the years. To all the little underhanded planning and devious things he's done to try to destroy the character of somebody by talking and cavorting with their fucking tenants. The piece of shit that he is, who continues to do so to this fucking day. To this fucking day. Yeah. Morning, Guru. This is a man who is so absolutely bored with his own fucking life and he's so fucking lonely that he don't know what to do with himself. Just go paint something yellow. Or just walk from one side of the yard and bring something from one side of the yard to the other. It kind of reminds you of a bobcat that's, caged up in a zoo, a horrible zoo, with limited space, which he does have. A good comparison. And the bobcat is just going back and forth from one side of the cage to the other because he don't know what the fuck to do to himself. He wants out of there. Get me out of this fucking cage. Give me a life. Give me a life. I can't live in an 11 by 11 foot fucking structure and not go fucking crazy out of my fucking mind. Same thing's happening here with him. He goes fucking stir crazy. Then when you're without human companionship for so fucking long, that takes a toll on you too. And when you don't bathe all the time, that's going to take a toll on your skin. And you're going to get flesh-eating bacteria and all kinds of wonderful shit like that he's already had. And still has. He's been dealing with for fucking years and years. And it keeps on coming back like a fucking bad relationship. People in this state of mind don't last long. Then to save money, they build a fucking ladder. They build a makeshift fucking ladder that's going to collapse and they're going to fall on their ass yet once again. He's already fell on his ass because he bought a cheap ass fucking ladder to save money. And where did he fall? He fell on the goddamn teeth of a fucking piece of equipment of an excavator. And we saw the results of that. There are people in the world like him. They don't live to be the ideal age that they hope to live. If they've made too many mistakes, they'll cause their own demise by doing stupid things like, I'm going to fast for 21 days, and I'm going to try to do 100 days. Put a fucking white jacket on this guy and put him in a fucking padded fucking room. Jesus Christ. Boone says he's depressed because Mushroom Man, no hotel, no girlfriend, slapped on a live show, and his pustula and termites, etc. Well, I tell you one thing, man. They say that there's hell, and they say that there's heaven. There's a hell that you go to when you die, if you've been a bad boy, which you'll wind up there anyway. But you know what? There's also something called a living hell. A living hell. Where you are alive, by definition of life, that your heart is beating and your blood is flowing, and your lungs are taking in oxygen, but you're really dead. You're a dead man walking, and you don't even know you're dead. That's hell. To live that kind of life that this guy's living, that everything that comes out of his mouth has to be a fucking made-up story. He's a storyteller. But he does that to get your attention. Everything from banging a pot to wearing fucking glasses that are taped up from here to Kingdom Come because he's too fucking cheap to go out and buy a new pair of fucking glasses. to wear the same shirt and clothing and shorts all the time, to not buy a real chair, but to sit on a makeshift wooden fucking seat, to live on a fucking bed made of numerous layers of cardboard with some foam. Geez, I could go on and on, but you guys know the story. And G. Buddha said, depicts that weirdo Brevis posted of his hotel love shack. It was just awful. Well, that's what he's living in. That's for real. That's the only thing that's real about him, is that where he's living and how he's living, you know. It's, in some ways, it's just really sad that mental illness has affected somebody, and that how deep it has affected somebody. And that's what happens. You see, I used to work, obviously, I told you I used to work for the Parks Department over in Seattle. And I've had the opportunity, because I'm in different parks every day, okay? And I sometimes get familiar with some of the, so I call it the inhabitants of the park, generally a lot of homeless people. And I've encountered many people, and there's one guy in particular that comes to mind. Big guy. Big beard, dark hair. Generally harmless, but you didn't know. But he'd be there sitting on the park bench and he'd be arguing with himself. Now, this guy we're talking about now, we have seen him when he was off the camera to the side talking to himself. Those are the beginning stages of what's going on with him. It has to do when you don't have any human contact and people that care about you, and anybody who, you know, is a actual real physical friend that actually visits you, or having no family, having no girlfriend. It plays toll on the human psyche in such extreme ways. It's some serious shit we're talking about here, guys. This is not a rank out section at all, you know, session. It really isn't. And it's really not meant to be. But this is a really good discussion as to how people can break down not only physically but mentally by the way they live and by their loneliness, and it really takes a toll. Now, emotions could play havoc on your body. You want to lose weight quickly, 25 pounds in a month? I did. When I went really emotional over some woman that I really thought something was going to happen, but I talked to you about that one time that I met. And I was all hyped up about, I got a great future, and I got this great woman, everything. I'm like euphoric. You know, nothing can get me down. But then when it didn't work out, all of a sudden here comes the big crash, and your emotions just go fucking haywire. And you're not eating as much, and even if you do eat, your body is feeding off all this emotional stress. And I lost 25 pounds in 1 month that time. Not a healthy way to lose weight, but it does happen. Emotional stress can cause you to lose weight, as well as not eating. The way it is. Here's a thought. Tom Kinsey says, where does Mikey take a shower? He don't have much water running to the property. He's always talking about he's either got no water pressure, goes for long periods of time, but there's no water. I don't know. Somebody said he used to just jump in a puddle after it rained and splash around, or just go down to the ocean and just kind of, you know, use salt water. I think I'm guessing that if you have a bedridden person and you really can't, they're not ambulatory. There's two ways of doing it. You put them in a proper kind of wheelchair, put them in a shower, you could, special chair, actually a chair. You could get them into that and you could shower them if you have water. But if you're not ambulatory, for example, there's a way of doing that. There are solutions like Barry was given in his jail cell. He's been 4 months now almost without a real shower. What he uses, there's like a cream or solution. You just take a rag and you wipe your body down with that, and it gets rid of some dirt and sweat and stuff like that. Yeah. Boy, this sounds horrible, doesn't it? If there was mental health workers in his area, I mean, he wouldn't pay for it. He just wouldn't pay for it. No, he wouldn't. Of course, he's got sores on his legs and everything else, and it didn't go away. Of course, it's how he lives, but it's also his environment. Understand what's in his yard. There's a lot of toxins, I'm sure, from the different cans of this and that and chemicals he has. The yard is unsanitary. Where is this piss and crap going? He has a toilet in his shack, but I think he might have dug a small septic for that in the past. I don't know. He might have. But just having a toilet in this little structure, and he has a little area where he'll prepare his food and cook it, right? And it's right near the fucking toilet. Now, if you goddamn realize, let me tell you something. I will tell you. You guys stand up and take a piss in your toilet, right? I'll guarantee you, if you don't mop your floor in the bathroom, you're going to smell urine. Because there are droplets that go beyond the toilet bowl that get on your floor. You'll smell it. These droplets are on the floor. That's why if you go for a couple of days without mopping the floor in your bathroom, cleaning the tile, you're going to smell urine. You're thinking, where's this urine coming from? I didn't piss on the floor. But yes, you did piss on the floor. You just don't know it. There are tiny droplets, microscopic, that you don't see that's coming out from your stream that's actually going on your floor. And you can imagine in his place, it's like a wooden floor or some shit like that he's got on there, termite-eating plywood. Okay? That urine is sinking in there. It's sinking in there. It's staining the wood. It's embedded and ingrained in the wood. If I had to walk into his shack, I'd probably vomit. I'd have a gag reflex. I'm sure about it. Yeah. Jerry Cantrell says the stench from the shack must be sickening. Which makes me wonder, how did Daisy stay there? I really don't know, man. Jiffy Geechee says maybe he's doing the extreme fasting so he can see his pee-pee one last time before checking out of the planet. Perhaps. G. Boone says there has to be other people living. I'm sure there's people living like that all over the world. Wow, 36. I didn't even realize that. Yeah. So you like the show this morning? Somehow I can't, it's hard not to segue into this guy. I was starting off being very general about, fasting. And then, of course, it all geared up toward him because obviously that's what's going on. And the reference was really being made about his situation. I guarantee you, just as much as there's a guarantee that I've never got kicked off YouTube, there's a guarantee that I've been on YouTube for over 7 years, he is eating. Don't buy what he's saying. He's too unhealthy to begin with to do a fast like that for 10 days. He's claiming it's been 10 days, whatever. No. He's saying all this bullshit. I didn't feel faint. I didn't feel this. And I'm feeling energetic. I don't need food. No. He's eating. He's just not eating as much. Now, how do I know this? I know he's losing a little weight because he's reducing what he's eating. I can see it in his face, but a lot of that is from water weight. His face is thinner. I could see that. It is, very visibly, starting off from water loss from the body, and then eventually fat breakdown. But can he lose 6 inches in 10 days? I don't think so. And what's going to be left over, no matter how much weight you lose, then you have to wind up getting surgery to remove all the flubbery, all the loose skin. So you're still not looking good after losing all that weight. All these highly obese people like him, I don't know what looks worse. Showing the weight, having the weight, or losing the weight and being stuck with all that flab hanging down. So which is the worst of the two evils might be the question. Yeah. 35 strong, baby. 35 strong. Ways of doing things in your life. There are proper ways of handling things in your life. And this is not the way you go about it. Look, none of us, not any one of my viewers, has to prove anything to me. Nor do I have to prove anything to any one of my viewers. That's the way it should be. We're not trying to prove to each other real man. I don't need a mustache or a beard. Some people grow that. Maybe they just like the looks. But some people will grow mustaches and beards to show I'm a manly man. This makes my testosterone stronger when I, like Goliath or whatever, what's his name, who had to grow his hair. Or was it Hercules got his strength from his hair, grow his hair long. Everybody does things for their own reasons. Some of it may not make sense. For example, I don't have to prove I'm a man. I don't have to grow a beard to show them I'm manly. I don't have to get tattoos to show that I'm tough. I don't have any tattoos. I got enough scars on my body. If they were to find my body, they'd easily know who the fuck I was. Well, if they had my medical records, not here. I don't have to grow a beard to look manly or tough. I don't have to put tattoos on. I don't have to get a mohawk haircut to look tough. I'm just me. I'm a man because I possess all the positive emotions and the real definition of being a man, which is being a caring, loving, passionate, compassionate, giving person. Capable of love, capable of receiving love. That's what a man is. If you want to define what a man is, that is what a man is. Not putting a tool in your hand. Real men use tools. Only real men can operate a skilled saw. Only a real man could build a set of steps. And by the way he was doing it, I talked to somebody who did carpentry, and he was going all about it the wrong way. And if this guy had real carpentry skills, those stairs are not going to be supportive of him and his weight. And the makeshift ladder that he put together, he's going to fall off his big ass onto his big ass again. Not the proper doggery, the clips, the way he's clipping it and what he's doing is insane. But then again, who are we talking about? Okay. Look, what he does to himself, he kills himself. Look, I don't really give a shit, but I've been compassionate enough, even to him, I've made many suggestions to him when his leg situation. As much as I don't like the guy, I can't stand him with a passion. Okay, and the things that he's done behind the scenes against me and continues to do till today. I mean, yeah, he's the kind of guy that you want to take a baseball bat to his fucking head. You want to end it for him. Unfortunately, I can't do that. I just can't do that. Okay, it's against the law. And also, I just don't believe in violence in that way. I just do not. Sure, we think about things like this. What if? But you can't do that. And I won't do that. All right? But, you are in possession of your own thoughts and actions, and what you do to your life and to your body is going to be your own business. Okay? It's going to be your own fucking business. And if it's going to kill you in the process, fine. Don't try to pretend to be somebody that you're not just to try to impress people. A real man doesn't have to do that. A real man is capable of love, not this hate like this. Every fucking show, feeling he has to be vindictive toward people that turn on them or they said the truth about him and he has to be vindictive. Yeah, I mean, this is insane no matter how you look at it. It's insane. He's insane by his own demonstration. And I say this without a disclaimer because we witness his insanity every fucking day if he decides to turn in on his show. He is not a normal man. And I think his brain just turned in on itself from the lack of human companionship, from the loneliness all these years. You remember how proud he was when Daisies was hanging with him? You remember how he was? He was like the big man on campus, wasn't he? Showing off to everybody as if that was his girlfriend. It was never his girlfriend. She was never his girlfriend, ever, ever. It was a situation of convenience why she was staying there over with him. You know? Never. Never. But it made him look good. Go out, show people that, she's hanging with him. And even after she just split the coop with him, he was still using, an avatar of her as if that was his girlfriend, and even made references on different social media that was his girlfriend. She was never his girlfriend. Never. But in his mind, his delusional mind, seeing her, well, okay, she was his girlfriend. She was a girl, and she was a friend. So basically, okay, girlfriend, but not in the sense.
And back.
You're back. Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Jerry Cantrell says he needs to be assessed by a psychiatrist. Charles Luciano said he had a shit-eating grin when she was there. He did. He announced to the world that was his girlfriend, Daisy, and it wasn't. He'd go out maybe a couple of times. He met some other vloggers, take her along to show her off. Because to be a real man, you gotta have a girlfriend, right? Hands and knees, and then I'm thinking like, and do what? And do what? I mean, seriously speaking, this shit is a scary type of it's a scary type of mental illness, It's a scary type.
When I get to Bantayan Island, remember, I'm going to beg you to do something. I'm going to get on my hands and knees in the Cuckoo Bar and Grill in a live stream and beg you to come to the Cuckoo. When I get to Bantayan Island, remember, I'm going to beg you to do something. I'm going to get on my hands and knees in the Cuckoo Bar and Grill in a live stream.
Do you remember, was it with Jerry? Didn't he make a bet to come and suck his dick for $50 that that if you give him $50, he'll suck your dick? You remember that? Was that being referred to the ferry, to Jerry? Who did he do that with? Andy Omar? Was it Andy Omar he did that with? I'm beginning to wonder, man. I'm really beginning to wonder. And then he's just putting more stress on himself. He's all upset that. And holy shit, I imagine his cortisol level to the heart goes up that every time somebody gives me a super chat and my screen lights up. He's really affected by that. I mean, he seriously is. Allo did a whole show about this thing with Super Chat, kind of undermining what Super Chat is, because he don't get it himself, nor anybody in his crew ever did. None of his constituents. Yeah, it certainly does, Jerry. Does sound very gay with the implication of what he said. Boy, that's makes you wonder. Really makes you wonder. But he tries to be in a contest with everybody on here for just about everything, even the super chat. Jesus Christ, with this super chat shit. You know, I'm not going to raise a flag every time somebody gives me a super chat. I'm not going to compare it to what somebody else got. I'm not going to make a big story of that at all. Why is it such a common denominator on YouTube? Either their dick is bigger than somebody else's, or getting more subscribers than anybody else, or they're getting more super chat than anybody else. I don't compare. When I get a super chat on here, it's like, okay, great. Thank the person that's showing support for your channel and move on. Right? And move on. You don't go into, well, I'm getting more super chat than him. He ain't getting shit. Nobody's going to send him any money on his show. Oh, please, give me a break.
If it's us versus them, who you think gon' win? If it's us versus them, who you think?
You that much? Why? Why does it bother you so much? Are you just depending on these super chats to survive? Well, apparently so, but I don't make that big a deal about it. I don't know why everybody else does. I just really don't know. What's this other one here I got here?
Little fella.
Little fella. He calls me little fella. Well, I happen to be taller than him. He's about 5'4", 5. So I get a chuckle out of that when he calls me little fella.
And talking about the little fella, when I get to Bentayton Island, remember, I'm going to beg you to do something. I'm going to get on my hands and knees in the Cuckoo Bar and Grill
Isn't that rich? Isn't that just fucking rich? What's this one?
YouTube, it's something that goes on. Like Batman. Batman is going to come back with a vengeance. I'm going to tell you that right now. I've heard stories about what Batman has planned. He's going to make his last appearance seem like child's play.
Oh, boy. How many has he been in the Philippines? About 8 years, somewhere around pushing 8 years. He's either gay or he's an alien. Either gay or he's an alien. All right. People were asking me to do wrenches and shit like that, and I just can't find myself really to do any kind of wrenches on here. I just don't really see the purpose. I don't know. I suppose if somebody was a heavy-duty contributor to my channel, that I enveloped a trust in somebody. Because when somebody donates a good amount of money to your show, they're pretty much, I could say that they're pretty in tune with you. And I think that you can put a little trust into that person because they're opening up their wallet to you. But even that I would question whether to have to utilize that as a tool to give somebody a wrench because of how much they've donated to my show. I don't think I feel comfortable about that. But a lot of people do that on their shows. And I just don't think I'd feel comfortable about that. The reward system is like this. If somebody donates to my show, it just allows me to give a little more respect to that person because they took their time and their money to say thank you. And I can respect that person because obviously they have some level of respect for me to want to actually donate to my show. That's the way I see it. Nothing too much out of bounds or outside of that, the parameters of that, really. It's just basically saying that you like their show. And I'm not, by the way, there is no fun. I'm going to tell you this right now. And I keep on talking about that I was going to give X amount of money to a Filipino during the Christmas season. That still goes. That goes out of my pocket money. that really has nothing to do with what I get on Super Chat here. That's going to happen one way or the other. And I decided that I think it should go to multiple people rather than just one person. And I don't think anybody has a problem with that. Because one person, not spreading the love, is one person when there's other people that could utilize the money. That will happen during Christmas season. There's no question about that. So there's no actual technical fund on here. Those who donate to the channel are donating to me. Yes, it's going into my pocket. It don't matter because $25K guaranteed is coming out of my own pocket later on. It doesn't matter what the source of the fund is, from my bank account, from YouTube donations on here. It don't matter either way. The fact is, it's just coming from me, period, no matter what the source of that is. Okay? Yeah, Warren said something like that, Cantrell. Yeah, Warren. Not me, Warren. I just want to get that straight. I was just a messenger, that's all. Yeah, Warren said that. How about a little more thumbs up, folks? If you could do that much, if you can't donate to the channel, at least give some thumbs up. We'd appreciate it. Yeah. I may just strictly go on a campaign for some funding here. Personal funding to line my pocket. And I'm not going to bang a pot on my head. I'm not going to bang a fucking pot. I'm not going to make a fool of myself. I'll just ask my viewers. I'll just say, hey, donate to my show. Appreciate it. I'll say that right now. Donate. Give me that incentive to stay on here, baby. Give me the incentive to keep on doing shows, because when you get an incentive, you'll stick around a while, won't you? Warren H. played him so hard. He certainly did, Charles. Charles, you've always said bad shit about me, which kind of surprises me why you're coming on my show. But I've seen comments you've made, but I'll just slide by that. And just thank you for being on my show. I'll try to be a better person than some others. I can forgive and forget some people, but there's some people that I simply cannot. And you can understand why. You certainly can. Okay. Okay, you know me, I gotta take my occasional breaks. He did, but they played each other. Both looked like total losers. They did. Okay, give me a couple of minutes, guys. Continue your own dialogue. And hopefully my screen is going to light up like a proverbial Christmas tree when I get back. Because you care about me, you support me, and you appreciate me. That's what it's all about, my friends. That's what it's all about. It's not lying to my viewers. It's not telling tall tales. It's not proving how much of a man I am. I'm just Frank. Simple Frank. An aging fucking dude like all the other foreigners are out here, that's trying to get by from one day to the other. Keep my sanity, keep my physical health. That's all I am. I don't pretend to be anything more than that. I am mortal, my friends. I am mortal, not immortal. Be right back. Wow, my screen is just lit up like a Christmas tree. Have I ever met him? Fucking went to the fucking case. He tried to do a fucking case against me that he lost, and that's why he's butthurt. He couldn't produce the evidence that they wanted. Bottom line. Don't have to get the details. He just couldn't produce the evidence. And he got butthurt because of that. Yeah, I met him. I met him over at the NBI office in Panglau, Bohol. I sure as fuck did. What a fool he made of himself at that session, too. He couldn't shut his mouth. He's like that in real life. The same as you see him on YouTube, he's like that in real life. He's over there trying to bring some charges against me, which he failed miserably. And what happened? He was mouthing off in front of the NBI, fucking in front of these prosecutors, whatever. You're the most hated person on YouTube, he says. And he went into this tantrum 3 times, or not 4, maybe 3 guaranteed. And I'm over there sitting there, cool as a cucumber. By the way, if you could imagine this scenario, he is no more than breathing distance from me. It's not what you think on this hearing. We were at the prosecutor, NBI prosecutor, whatever, at his desk. And there's some chairs right in front of the desk. There wasn't a lot of chairs, so Gilda was there. She had to stand up. My lawyer was there. She stood up, right? It's not like a court thing that you would think it is. And he sat there with these tattered sneakers on, and he had bought this shirt. Listen to this. I mean, how he tries to manipulate people. Being pro-Philippines. He went out and spent a lot of money in a fancy store. He bought this knit shirt that said the Philippines on it, a little decal. Like, look at me. I'm pro-Philippines. I want the prosecutor guy to know that, hey, I love the Philippines and the Philippines people. He went out and actually bought a brand new shirt for that session. A brand new shirt. To try to show, hey, look at me. I support the Philippines. It was a joke. It's such a laugh. Anyway, as I was starting to say, during that session, he lashed out about 3 times against me. And I'm over there sitting there purposely as cool as a cucumber. Just to show this NBI representative that this guy is out of control. Here I am sitting there cool as a cucumber, and he's mouthing off just like he does on his show when he loses it, Yeah. You should have heard him. I wish I had that on video, but you weren't really allowed to do any filming in there, So then he got mad when they sat there. So he brings his SD card in. So the NBI guy plugs in his computer, speaker on, and he plays supposedly one of my videos. And it was sound. There was no video. And the tape on there is supposed to be of me, and but I wasn't on camera, and basically he's trying to prove to the prosecutor that it's me. Well, listen to his voice, because the prosecutor basically said to me, "Is that your voice on there?" I said, "No, that ain't me. It ain't me." And I had every right to say that. Because the tape was worth shit, because there was no visuals on there, right? Okay, so with that being said, so prosecutor asked, and I said, "No, that's not me." "What do you mean it's not him? Can't you hear his voice? That's him." And the prosecutor, they had to go with that. They had to go with that because I denied that it was me. I don't know, that's not my voice. That wasn't my voice. And he fell apart. He fell apart. How did he fall apart? What do you mean? That's him. Can't you hear his voice? So the prosecutor, MBI guy, tells him, show me evidence with him on camera saying some really bad things about you. Whatever, in so many words, paraphrase, whatever. I'll tell you what, the MBI says, I'll give you 5 days to bring in some evidence where what you're claiming against this man is on camera so we could definitively know that it's him that said that. We'll make our own determination from that. I'll do better than that. I'll be in here in 3 days. Okay. So what winds up happening is that he comes back to the office there, and, well, he couldn't produce. Well, actually, what happened was he couldn't produce. And you remember when he went online? This is really important. If anybody has any videos of this guy on camera saying something bad about me, this is really important. I really appreciate your help. He was begging people. He was going into a tantrum. Please contact me. This is really, really important. Well, he couldn't produce it. So they threw it out without prejudice, meaning that he could go back and try to do it again. But what happened was he kept on going to the office and bugging these people all the time, trying to get them to change their opinion. They got sick of him coming in the fucking office. They knew he was a madman just by his behavior. And I'm sitting there cool as a cucumber. And then here's a little funny thing while we were in there. Remember, Gilda was with me? So Gilda's standing up. There was one period of time he started staring at her. I'm not sure why. So she played a little psychological game with him. So she stared back at him. Then, of course, at that point, he turned his head and he stopped staring at her. He was trying to check her out to see what she looked like. Was Gilda really that good looking as she's supposed to be? And I don't know what he was trying to prove, to be honest with you, but it was a staring contest that went on. It was hilarious. It was just hilarious. Yeah. Jiboon, this is where the FBI voice and analyzer came from. Remember about the voice analyzer? He was going to try to buy a voice analyzer to give to the FBI. That's how desperate he was, to prove that it was me, that it was my voice. It was just that he needed a rebar bender, yeah. Hope you guys are finding this entertaining. Gosh, I sure am. It's nice to reminisce, go back and recall these little incidents. So if you want to know why he's so butt against me, it's because he tried to do something on me. And to this very day, he's still trying to be vindictive. And he's still trying to find fault. And that's why he had practically conjoined himself with my tenants. And it was giving them every fucking video, just like Alo's trying to produce this thing. Find every bad video. Sounds like Fazio now, right? It's a repetition of Fazio. It's a clone situation what Fazio was doing. Find every bad tape about him. Let's send it to the authorities. Or in Alo's case, well, understand, listen, we cannot do nothing to get, you have to understand, we cannot do nothing on YouTube, but there's other ways that we can go about attacking this man. It's going to take vigilance. And I doubt that it's even going to work. There's a less than 1% chance. But if we all gather together, we send all these authorities, all these tapes, that maybe they'll deny him his clearances and his visa and get him thrown out of the country. You know, fucking mental illness is abound on YouTube. Living quite well mental illness on YouTube. What else do you expect Fazio to do? He must be so lonely. Well, that's the denominator of all this. Don't you understand? It's called loneliness. Loneliness is a terrible thing, guys. I'm sure at some point in all of our lives we've experienced a lonely moment for whatever reason. Maybe a breakup of somebody you loved and you just felt totally empty inside. Imagine going all these years in his life without a woman. I doubt that even when he was in New York, I doubt that he was in Florida, I doubt that he's ever had a girlfriend. I doubt it. Because look, his personality, everything about him, I mean, and no disclaimer needed. It's demonstrated by what he puts on his shows and how he's living and his attitude. His whole demeanor is very negative. You know, he wants to lash out at the world because he's just not happy with himself. He hates himself. He hates the way he's living and makes excuses as to why he's living in an 11 by 11 foot filthy, disgusting, bacteria-filled shack. The germ shack. The germ shack. You heard of the love shack? This is the germ shack. That place is a biohazard to himself and to anybody who would enter the doors of that place. Should be taped outside. This place, do not enter, is a biohazard. Boy, we're taking out the 50 millimeter today instead of the 22 caliber, aren't we? Hey, when it's due, it's due, man. When it's due, it's due. And how do you do? Yeah, you know. Well, how do you do? Boy, I'm surprised my screen hasn't lit up with this show. I'm actually totally shocked, I have to be honest with you. I am totally shocked that my show is not lit up like a fucking Christmas tree. This is one of my considered better sessions on here. Well, we just let our hair hang down, if you got any hair to hang down, you know. This is where I'm just letting loose. I'm just letting it out. You know, this is worth many shows from, I think, Illuminati would go crazy taking excerpts from this show because he fucking hates Fazio. And I did a show on here not too long ago that he was very pleased with, and he replayed it on his own channel and so forth. I mean, I'm shocked that, you know, I don't get a rainbow of colors on here. I'm really shocked. Because when I do a really good show, and this is a really good show, it's very informative in every way, of the buffoonery and the mental anguish and the loneliness that this man, you could almost feel sorry for him. It's really hard for me because I'm a very compassionate person, but when I get to examine somebody's character and all the vicious, vindictive things they have done to me, such as this man, what he's tried to do, and to this day, he cannot accept defeat, you know. He cannot accept the fact that I'm not committing any fucking crimes. And I didn't even commit any crimes when I lived in fucking Hawaii with all that legal shit with the fucking tenants and all that shit. And he's still trying to push it. He's still communicating with the tenants as well as his constituents. He's still trying to find ways of get at me. I did not commit any criminality. This was a civil fucking case. Let's bottom line this shit out. It was a civil fucking case. No matter what they're so-called trying to plan, you have to commit a crime, period. Has to be considered and deemed a crime by the letter of the law. You could, you know, I could, you know, you could call me every fucking name in the book and make every fucking allegation against me that exists. But unless there's truth behind it, unless there's solid fact behind it, okay, and if it's third party and it's hearsay, let's add that to it. There's no merit to it. I'm not committing any crimes on my show. I am not committing any crimes on or off my show, nor here in the Philippines, nor am I or did I in the state of Hawaii. And then there's jurisdiction factors you got to kind of put into the soup. There's a lot of factors. There's a lot of factors. This is when people hate you so much and they're so fucking vindictive that they're trying to find every single fault. They'll listen to your show, record everything you say, they'll cut it apart, they'll edit it to find little clips of something that you said that they might consider to be derogatory or something. I mean, this is how far people will go and how desperate they are to try to find fault with an innocent man who they just don't happen to like because maybe this man put up that proverbial mirror in front of them and they did not like what they saw in that mirror. Isn't that what it really is? Fazio will chit-chat with anyone willing to call him. That's a fact, and I know that is a fact. What Warren told me, the hours they spent on there, and Warren liked to talk because he was lonely in his own way too. But even with Warren, it got to the fact that, okay, enough. I had to find excuses. I got to go take my meds. I got to get some rest. I got to get off. And he just motor-mouthed more, and he didn't want to get off. And Warren got to the point, come on already, please, almost to the point of begging, I got to get off the phone. I got things to do. I got health measures to attend to. He wouldn't let him go. And I told you when Warren told me that he was trying to call Warren wasn't answering his phone. And he was putting sanctions against Warren. It's going to cost you 1,500 American dollars every time you don't fucking answer my calls. He thought he owned Warren. That is his bitch boy or something. He thought he owned Warren. Because Warren was generous enough to help him out. He felt sorry for him. Then got to the point where he woke up, and I helped him wake up a little bit. I did play a small part in that, where he was being used by the guy. And he just said no more of this shit. That made him even more furious. That made him even more bitter. And then all the shit he was talking about Warren, all he ever did was, praise Warren. As long as Warren was sending him fucking money, he was praising Warren. But when the money stopped, and it even went with some of his viewers and contributors, that when they stopped giving him super chats and stuff, he turned on them and he blocked them on his channel. He even went against people who paid on his membership. Even Gary. He was getting on Gary, Philippines Experience, when Gary stopped paying him any money. Then he turned on Gary. So in other words, if you're not going to donate to the show, he's going to get pissed at you and create sanctions and get vindictive with you. This is a sick fucking man. Hey, look, this whole show, not one person has sent me a motherfucking super chat. Okay? But I'm not going to address you by name and say, hey, motherfucker, get off my fucking show because you didn't light up my screen. I'm not saying that. So if I go through this whole broadcast and I don't get one goddamn super chat, I'm not going to block you for that. I'm not going to block you for that. Okay? This guy will. That's why he gets so upset when I do get super chat. He thinks he's the only one that deserves super chat, but you see, he doesn't deserve it. He expects it. That's the difference. If I deserve super chats because I put on a damn good show, and I do have content, and I've kept the attention for 33 fucking people for an hour and 26 fucking minutes. Okay? There you go. There you go. But this guy falls apart. Now, I've gotten mad in the past. I admit it. I got mad in the past when I seen all these fucking criminals getting YouTube. Here I go try to put a good show on, and they give money to enable the criminals to continue their criminal activity. But I got over that. People are going to do what they're going to do. They're going to give to who they want to give. But I'm not going to put a gun to somebody's head like he's basically trying to do and create sanctions. He did that to everybody. When they stopped giving to his membership, he got pissed. You're not faithful to my show anymore. I'm banning you for life off my show. Hey, I just released the hounds. I released a whole shitload of people from my block list the other day. Okay, I did that. Look at all the lurkers, Frank. They're all obsessed with you. I know, isn't that something? We got 33 people in here. They're lurkers. All lurkers. How do I know? Because I got 16 thumbs up and figure the rest of them are lurkers or, the trolls. Yeah, that's who they are. And I know who every one of them is. Absolutely. Barry's on there. Yellow Man is on there. Aloe is on there. Roberto is. Just name the players. They're all on there right now. Trying to find something that I say that they could use against me. Patrick Glenn, my favorite part of your show is when you use profanity. Well, I shouldn't really use profanity. I should refrain from that. I'm just a very expletive person. I just basically call it as it is, call my shots as they are. That if I'm feeling the love at the moment, I'll use it. If I have to drop some F-bombs on my show, it doesn't help my algorithms. But, whatever. I'm just real. If I feel like using the F word, I'll use the fucking F word. That's what I'll do. Okay, again, I'm going to take a brief break. Is it okay? I mean, I'm human. I'm not on my phone. I'm on my computer. I may need to take a leak or actually have a bowl of oatmeal with some blueberries in it that's waiting for me. That takes about 5 minutes to eat. I'm going to take a 5-minute intermission so I can eat and sustain myself. Because the human body needs food. Frank ain't, trying to starve himself. And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to get on my treadmill and do a mile. And then do a mile later on. That's what I do. I try to do things the right way. I'm not going to starve myself to try to prove that I'm a fucking man. I'm a man because I am capable of loving. I am capable of physically performing love. I'm capable of accepting love, not just giving it. I have compassion, and I'm also passionate with things I do. That's a real man defined. That's a real man. And a real man doesn't talk like him, act like him, and live a life the way he does. And try to profess to everybody that I could use a fucking mechanical tool, and that's the only thing that's making me a fucking man. And even that doesn't make you a man. I'm no carpenter. I don't build things. I don't even like to look at a schematic and put something together. I'd rather pay somebody to fucking do it. Unless I want to get into a tactile mode and have somebody say, hey, that's what I usually do. Show me how to do it. Put that tool in my hand. Tell me how to use that tool. And show me how to put this big shelving unit together, whatever it might be. I will do it on my own. Tactile. Show me how to do it. Show me how to do it, and I will do it. That's who I am. I'm lazy otherwise. Okay, I don't like to strain my brain trying to figure this out for hours. It's not worth it. I'd rather pay the money by buying it assembled, or just pay the fucking money to have it assembled, whatever the hell the project is. That's what I do, man. That's what I do. Okay, if you could hang in there for 5 minutes or so, I'd appreciate it. And, guys, give with your heart. Not to prove something. Not to kiss my ass and say you're a great subscriber of mine. Don't do it for any reason other than giving, just simply because it's out of your heart and because you want this show to continue in the future, to give me an incentive, because I've lost my incentive too many times to count to stay on YouTube with all this negativity on here. Sometimes a man needs an incentive to keep on vlogging. And yes, donating to my show is an incentive. I am on the platform. I am indeed monetized. I'm not going to be any different than anybody else's show. Because you know why they're on there. But I have proved that I did not need monetization to continue shows. Because most of the life of my show and the years that I've been on here has been without monetization. I made shows because I wanted to, not because I had to. And there was no monetary rewards keeping me going on my shows, which goes to prove that I'm not on here and never been on here for the money, for the monetary gain. But since I am monetized, sure, why not? Everybody else is, they're benefiting from it. It helps with a lot of things when you make extra money. Helps my lady out a lot. I give everything to her anyway. So when you're giving money to me, you're not giving really money to me. You're not really. You're giving it for my chick's future, man. That's what it really is. Everything is for her. This house, everything that I've done and accomplished is for her because she is a sweetheart. She's a loving, caring, wonderful woman, and I think you all know that. You've seen her before. She's been on camera. You know that she's a really decent human. And as a partner, as a girlfriend of mine, she has really enhanced my life in so many ways. That's why I do everything mostly for her. I'm getting older, and everything I build up is hers. So any support you give to my channel, she will benefit from 100%. That's a guarantee. I will be right back. I'll be back. Contemplate what I just said. got a little story to tell you when I come back here, and how well connected we are in this town. But we'll be right back. Best use of history was the dog shit video from Hawaii. Nobody has ever came close to the top of that. Hey, that was like that was a classic. Of course, they made a big and different story out of that, of course, but that's the way it is. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Patrick. That was a good one. Nobody was ever going to hit the guy. And it was a fucking garden spade. I was just using that to pick up the dog shit. That's all it was. But you live in a small town. I'll tell you a story here. When you live in a small town like this, really, a lot of people, we don't get to know each other. And on different levels of government, too. I mean, Gilda is a really social animal. She makes friends because she's got this wonderful, inviting personality. She really does. And, we know a lot of people because of her. People come over and they bring her food and gifts and stuff like that, just out of nowhere. A brand new purse, whatever you want to call it, carry bags, different stuff like that. I mean, it's amazing. It's just absolutely amazing. Now, she's also friendly with the mayor's wife. We've even been to a birthday party there for the wife one time. We were invited. Okay. Now, the mayor's wife this morning is sending out to Cebu about 10 boxes of scallops to Cebu because there's some kind of shit going on out there. I'm not sure what it is. So a lot of scallops and stuff, they come from this town. Now, my girlfriend's daughter wanted to order some scallops or something. I don't know if it was personally for her or somebody else that wanted to order it. So the mayor's wife is going to be going to Cebu, and she's going to be taking Gilda's scallops that she's buying for her daughter that she ordered. So the mayor's wife is going to be taking the scallops over there and doing her that favor. She's going to Cebu. You know, one of her best friends out here actually works for the municipal. Okay, we know people in the barangay. You know, we know the policemen out here. Let's just say they know who I am out here. And whether they know me by name, people know me, period. Even if they don't know my name. But most people do in our close circles out here. That's no lie. It's no bullshit. We're very well connected in this town. We've been out here for a long time. Remember, you live in a relatively small community. People know you. They know when you did good. They know when you did good, sent to restaurants and all the other shit. They know me. They know me. They know me as customers that come there. Never given anybody that she's buying for her daughter that she ordered. So them to Cebu. Okay, let's just say they know who I am out here. And whether they know me by name, people know me, period. Even if they don't know my name. But most people do in our close circles out here. That's no lie. It's no bullshit. We're very well connected in this town. We've been out here for a long time. Remember, you live in a relatively small community. People know you. They know when you did good. They know when you did bad. And they're not going to believe the bullshit stories that people are going to send to restaurants and all the other shit. They know me. They know me. They know me as customers that come there. Never given anybody really any shit, really, okay? There's this incident over the pizza at the Cuckoo Bar that Fazio just really overplayed. And the motherfucker even called over there and said a lot of really vicious things. That's what these people, that's the mental makeup of these people. You know, trying to infiltrate my town with propaganda just doesn't work. At least not in this town that I'm living in. Because people know us very well. Very well. And I've helped people out too around here. We got a good disposition in this town. Let's put it that way. Mildly. We know a lot of people. You know, even the freaking mayor and his wife and family. Okay? The guy I bought the house from, okay, he was a former councilman and very wealthy guy, very well connected. You know, even from him, it doesn't start or end there. You know, we're invited to events by people in different positions in this town. And there's some people that I never even knew that she knew. Surprised my ass. How do you know her? I'd ask. I said, I didn't know that. I said, man, you are a social butterfly. I mean, because, you know, my girlfriend has this disposition and smile and everything that people take to. See, when you're nice to people, you're caring and giving to people, they see that. And they recognize that. You know, when you're constantly spewing out hate all the time, people, you know, they'll gravitate away from you. Positivity invites positivity is the way it works. Doing a kind act for somebody. They remember that. But they also remember bad things too. They do. Just like some of the idiots we have on YouTube. Some of the bad shit they do. You think people forget what they said about your children or something? You know? Calling, you know, writing them on Messenger, like Barry did, saying that your mother's boyfriend is a fucking pedophile? That deserved a baseball bat to the head on that one for sure. When they start interfering with your fucking family, then it becomes serious. Okay? That's when you see that mental illness is playing its part in a huge fucking way. You could have a gripe against somebody on YouTube, fine. Take it out with them. You don't go after their families. Or when all fails, go after their families. Find something that's his aloe, his creed. Find something that's really important to that person and attack it. That's mental illness. The psychopathy of that is frightening. To know that people have and possess can't call it mental fortitude. It's actually the opposite. It's mental illness, no matter how you look at it. That's what it is. And when you live in a small town like this, they know who you are. They know if you've been good to the town, you've been good to the people. And my girlfriend is able to make so many friends. They just gravitate toward her. It's amazing. I've never seen anything like it. Because she's a kind soul. And when somebody says something terrible about her, you know, which people do, it's part of envy that I have a woman of that nature, that I was fortunate enough to have a girlfriend who is not only, I think, attractive, in my own eyes anyway, but she's not just attractive on the outside. She's attractive on the inside. Everything about her is alluring. Everything about her is positive, for the most part. Except, when they go into their little tampo situations. Can't get rid of that. And don't even try. She doesn't even have a lot of that either, to tell you the truth. But yeah, I mean, it's no big deal to be invited to an event here from people that have position in this town. It's not a very large town. As I said, people know each other. And as such, it's very advantageous on many, many levels. I won't go into why and what kind of levels it's advantageous for, but it just is. It just is. So with that being said, don't tread on me. I'm probably not the person to do it to, not in this town, I'll tell you that. Do it in your town, do whatever you want to do, but in this town, it's taboo. And which people would find out right away. So yes, being connected in this town, we certainly are. Now, what's the event? What is the event in Cebu that the mayor wanted to send all the scallops to? What is? Huh?
Pasigarbo sa Cebu na the mayor's wife ordered a lot of scallop, wasay-wasay.
How much did she order? I seen that picture with all the boxes in there.
20 for the contingent.
For the contingents. And what is the contingents?
Dancers.
The dancers. Okay, this is for the dancers. So they're having an event in Cebu. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pasigarbo.
Pasigarbo?
From Pasigarbo sa Cebu. All province.
All province?
All Cebu.
All Cebu. All Cebu provinces are doing that.
From north and south.
From north and south, they're giving and sending things for this event. So the mayor is contributing to this, right?
Yeah, that's for the participant in Santa Fe.
The participants in Santa Fe. And since this is a fishing village, a lot of scallops and things come from here. That's it. Well, just like with her daughter, she wants scallops and somewhat, Gilda will buy the scallops and it'll be sent on the ferry, boxed up, and then there'll be a recipient, like her daughter or whoever, that'll pick it up on the other side. It actually sometimes it'll be delivered all the way. Somebody who's going to go into Cebu will take that off the ferry and deliver it to whoever it is. This is not her job profession or anything like that. It's just doing people favors. She just gets paid for the scallops that she bought. That's all reimbursed. That's all that is. But it's people helping each other out, people helping others out. Sending that stuff. There's a lot of stuff from Cebu, like the dried fish, scallops, things like that. This is one particular place that right here in Santa Fe, where that stuff comes from. And they're pretty much landlocked over in Cebu City, you know what I mean? So when they want to get some great fresh scallops and so forth and salted fish, they will order from here, right here, in my town right here. And that's where a lot of it does come. It's not all of it, but that's where some of it does come from. Big time, actually. People are always sending out salted fish, scallops, and other material right from this town to go to Cebu. A lot of orders come from here. But yeah, it's there's a favor system that goes on here. You respect people and they respect you back. Now, the mayor's wife, she's bringing your scallops.
No, not my scallop.
What is she bringing there?
She ordered a lot of scallop
She,
bring to Cebu.
she ordered a lot of scallops to bring to Cebu.
Yeah.
And how is your scallops getting over there?
My sister also ordered the
sister ordered
scallop,
some.
so I sent back there and Cebu.
All right, so you're sending it, and who's going to pick it up?
My nephew.
Do they have to come to the port, or this goes all the way to Cebu? Okay,
Just picked up somewhere, drop off.
okay, it's being picked up and then dropped off. Okay, that's cool. You can get goods and services delivered anywhere, really, and through the ferry system, you could accomplish that. As long as there's somebody on the other end to pick it up. And a lot of things that that we may want. For example, we may ask a daughter or somebody in the family that, hey, can you stop at S&R or whatever, or go to the mall, and can you buy us this particular fan or whatever it might be, and they'll do that, and they can send it right over to Santa Fe. They can have ways of having it delivered. We'll go on the ferry, it'll wind up here, and we'll get whatever we want. We can just order, just talk to her daughter or any member of her family. Do me a favor, can you stop in the mall the next time you're in there? Can you pick up this or that or this or that? And they'll do that. So goods and services are delivered all the time. And it's not a really difficult process.
Yeah, she asked me, what do you need from Cebu? She bring here.
She'll always ask, her daughter will always ask, what do you need from Cebu? And she'll get it here. Either she's going to come here personally and bring it because she wants to spend some time here, or she'll have it delivered here. So basically, I could say, hey, do me a favor, can you pick up this or that? And they're very kind. I mean, her daughter, her boyfriend, who's in the same business in accounting, and they're working for the same company, right?
No.
Okay, now they're not. So they're both working for a separate accounting company, okay? And he gets to travel, and it's all paid for. All paid for. The same thing with her.
She's in Manila now.
Now she's in Manila right now. And, next thing you know, she could be in Singapore or somewhere. I mean,
And then he comes here weekend.
she'll come here on the weekends,
Yeah.
to visit and so forth. So she's been to a lot of places. And her boyfriend, he's been in Italy. He's been in Pakistan. That's where we got this.
Norway, Milan.
Milan, Pakistan, so many places. And the job, it pays for that. Pays for the transportation, pays for the lodging. It's a good job if you can get it. And they make pretty good money. They
get vacation for 2 weeks, so that's why he come back.
Yeah, they'll get the vacation. He had a vacation for 2 weeks, so he came back into the Cebu area. Oh, battery running low. Let me throw this on here real quick. It's going to go off. But we're getting to that point anyway of this show. Hold on a segundo. Okay, we should save the day right here. Charles Chiano, Fabio is trying to hook up with you. Yeah, his wishes. Yeah, she is an attractive gal. All her children are attractive children. They're all good looking family. It's in the genes, I guess, Yeah, absolutely. The genetics are there. In his wildest dreams, could he get anybody that would look like her, nevertheless her age, and her wanting anybody his age. She's with a Filipino. She don't choose to be with a foreigner. And yes, Filipinos don't always go for foreigners. That's a fallacy, really. She chooses Filipinos. She is a Filipino after all, and not all Filipinos are interested in foreigners. I mean, a lot of people think that's all they want, but that's so far from the truth. Yeah, he only wishes he could get with any freaking woman. All I can say is I'm glad I am who I am, and I'm not certain people on here. That's what I could say. You know, there's a positive in my life. I am not these people. I don't think like these people. I don't try to be like these people. And when I feel that I'm getting like them, I talked about the vortex and all that. That's when I get the self-realization that I don't want to be like them. Where's it gotten them in life? Nowhere. Be loving and caring and not hateful. You gotta, you set your own legacy, really. How many people are going to be at your fucking funeral if you drop dead? Maybe nobody. Maybe nobody. But I'll tell you what, enough people know me and their family members and relatives and people that if it was held over here, they'd still come from Cebu to be here. Or if I'm going to be buried or something in Cebu and something happens to me, there's going to be well-wishers.
Yeah.
Unlike
My friends from Alabama, I come here next week.
friends coming down here from Alabama to see her.
Yeah.
And well, she's from the Philippines, of course. She's with she's married to a foreigner. And she's going to come down here and see her. Oh, DT24 comes in. Late show at $10. Thank you, DT24. Much appreciated. You see, guys, when you do good to somebody, you'll generally you will see good being done.
Oops, health check.
Vegas, you have to look, Sony also is coming.
Friend of hers from Las Vegas is coming to see her.
Yeah.
See, when you're a good-hearted person, people see that. That's the secret of success in your life. It ain't the money, success in the life. It's being a genuinely good soul, a good, caring person that other people recognize. And the people who can't perform that are the most miserable people. You find them here on YouTube. They're miserable as hell. They're lonely. It's just amazing, man. Salazar Gonzalez says you'll need to go on offense against Fazio. He has you reacting to his moves. Hit Fazio where it hurts. I don't have to hit him anywhere. He's doing everything to himself. That's the beauty of all this. He is who he is, and he cannot possibly change who he is. Okay? If you've grown up all your life and all you ate was fucking spinach, you're probably going to be eating spinach the rest of your life. If you grew up hateful, deceitful, storytelling liar, the chances are the rest of your life you're going to be doing the same thing too. Kind of a bad analogy there, but that's just whatever came to my head, really. Whatever came to my head. Now see the screen lit up here. I got a donation. And something as simple as that is enough to send him into a frenzy. Something as little as that. They're so hateful and so miserable with themselves that they can't take it when someone they don't like is doing better than they are, that they're living better. They actually own a home. They're not living in a shit shack when they make all these claims that, A&P mechanic, but not to work on jet engines. He's full of shit. I know for a fact he did not work on jet engines. He was an A&P mechanic. He studied that for sure. He's not certified for doing any kind of jet mechanic ability. He does not have the qualifications for that. He lied to us on every single level. And if the success in a person's life, it's very simple. Well, not that simple, but you could simplify it. That if you did so well in your life that you claim to do so well, what's that? What are you reading? I could see you go over sister on my girlfriend's phone. And as I said, I tried to look you up on my block list. You're not on there. But I do see you. Oh, you said 99 pesos. Thank you very much, Gogo Bobo's sister. Yeah, I can see that on my my girlfriend's phone, but for some reason you're not showing up on here. Thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate that. So we're getting the screen lit up after all. I'm not complaining about how much they send or how often. I'm not complaining about having a whole array of rainbows on my show. The fact that anybody sends anything at all, I think is pretty novel. I think it's pretty decent. It's pretty decent. I'm not going to make a huge deal about it. I don't give a fuck what Big Kevin makes on his show or anybody else, even the Yellow Man. I don't give a rat's ass. I don't give a rat's ass. It's not relevant to my life. It's not relevant to me getting up in the morning and facing my day and wondering what somebody has made on their show. I don't care. Again, I am not in competition with anybody, but the fact that it pisses people off that I make any donations at all on my show, oh, whatever. That's a personal problem you have. That's not my problem. That's not my problem. I'm sorry that it bothers you that people send me donations, man, but, you know, maybe you're not doing well. But it's not a competition. It's an acceptance. Okay? That's all it is. It's an acceptance, not a competition. Nobody is forced to send me anything. And if they do, I just look at that as a bonus. Put on a good show, give them good entertainment, provide some good knowledge, talk very eloquently about the goings on in the community, and people appreciate that. But they just don't want to hear all the drama all the time. They want to hear some good shit on here too. They want you to incorporate. Some people don't have the ability to do that. To incorporate into their show something that's interesting to listen to, whether it's entirely on the Philippines and the culture, women out here, whether it's a worldwide event. It's just some simple philosophy. People need that maybe like an eclectic mixture. That's what I think. You know. Same with me. When I listen to somebody's show and it becomes very repetitious, it's the same shit all the time, you know, and they're on there for fucking 8 hours at a time. And what the fuck are you doing with your life if you're doing a 6 to 8 hour show? Has your life become that void of human companionship, of socialization? Jesus Christ, man. I don't wish that on anybody. And if you are living that way, you happen to be somebody that's actually living that way, man, I don't know what to say. I'm just glad it's not me. All I'm trying to do is like everybody else does. I'm just trying to live my life. Just trying to put shows on here without getting all this negativism and all this shit pumped back at me. But I can't control that. And because I can't control that, you just accept what it is. Somebody's always going to say something about you that's negative. Somebody's always going to make up a lie about you. Somebody's going to want to embellish all the lies, you know, or the truth, whatever. You know, it's just that because they're lacking. And look at that, we got Walking Onion for $19.99. Walking Onion. We're getting our screen lit up here. Gil would like to say a thank you to the Walking Onion and DT24 and the other contributors to the channel. Gilda would like to say a thank you in her own voice.
Hello, Walking Onions. Thank you for your donation. I'm DT24 and Gogo Bobo Sister.
There you go. Coming from the sweetheart.
Thank you.
The sweetheart of YouTube, although she's not a YouTuber, but there's not many people that don't know of my sweetie here. And with a wonderful, caring, attractive woman that she is, passionate and compassionate. That's my woman, okay? I could only wish anybody out there the best, that they could find somebody of this caliber. And if you can't, just keep on trying. As long as you draw breath in your lungs, there's always that possibility. But the problem is, you have to show a part of yourself that's going to attract, like any animal or insect, they get attracted to a scent or something. there's even a compatibility index, even with an animal or an insect. Same as a human. There's got to be something that attracts you to the other person. Pheromones, on a biological level, whatever. But generally, it's your personality that shows up to somebody that you meet. You meet somebody for the first time, the very first time, they're going to make an instant assessment out of you just from there. Now, you remember with Jasper, and he had this chick, Erica, hanging around him, right? Trying to hone in on her, get a little piece of the action, whether he did or not, I doubt it. But even by his own words, she did not like the way he was talking to his viewers and his reference to Filipinos. She didn't like it. So she chose not to be in a relationship with him because this guy was just too caustic. And when you become caustic like that, people are going to, it's like turning the different poles of the magnets or the same pole against each other. It's going to repel. Ever tried it with a magnet? Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much to Walking Onion, to DT24, to Go Bobo's sister. And we had somebody else in there, I think. I don't want to leave anybody out, so let me scroll down here just to be sure. Just to be sure. I think that was it, yeah. Go Bobo's sister. Yep, DT24 and Walking Onion. Right on, brothers. You know, you attract more bees with honey, man. You just can't be caustic and toxic like that, because if your goal is to come to the Philippines and you want to meet that special woman, I can dig it, man. I understand why. That's what I did. I did meet a special woman, and I am here. I gave up everything to be out here. Gave up everything. I made my mistakes of who I chose in the beginning, some terrible mistakes. But I learned. And eventually, you know, gravity took place, and I got gravitated towards somebody that turned out to be a good thing in my life. It's how you present yourself to people, but it's also owning up. You got to own up to your mistakes. I have. I totally admitted on here that I was out of line with numerous people because I was pissed off. And that's a human reaction to get pissed off. And sometimes you say things that you don't really want to say. And you'll regret it later and say, nah, man, I'm being just like these assholes. And believe me, I don't want to be like these people. Not at all. Not even fucking remotely. And that's when I realized that, hey, an apology is in order. That's a real man, Fazio. That's what a real man is. That's what a real man is. If you want to define being a real man, fuck this shit with the tools in your hand. You can't even use your tools. You don't even know how to use your own tools. And if you were a real carpenter, you wouldn't be living in a caddy shack like that. Jesus Christ. Let me see if I have something on my phone. I can show you something. A picture of what he should be living in, even though he's living small and he's living. Let me find this. Let me find this picture. It's a place that manufactures, and it actually is. It's a trailer home. It's a shipping container. But what they did to this and how livable it is, that's the difference. That's the difference. And if I can get back to this and find this here, go back to my, let's see, and find it on here. And there we go. Panther comes in, lighting up the screen with $5. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Salamat, Panther, coming in with $5. Our screen is lighting up this morning. It certainly is. Thank you very much from Panther. That's what we like to see. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Now, I'm going to show you a picture here of something, guys, okay? This is a 20-foot, 5-foot container.
black screen. Is this the norm? No, it's not the norm. We do black screen sometimes, and now I'm going to show you guys a picture of something. This is about the same size as his shack. Let me show you something here. You see this? Look how nice this is. Could be what he's living in. Could be. Look at that. It's fabricated. Look at this. This is what his place should look like if he was a real carpenter. But you've seen pictures of what he's living in. And this is totally nice. And this is the inside, you know? It's nice. And this is made from a container, okay? This is made from a container. If he was a good carpenter, if I were a carpenter, and you were my lady, I'd marry you anyway. I'm gonna have my baby. Well, that's what he should be living in. Of all the boasting and bullshit he's done from all the years, 2 hours and 14 minutes show. Of all the boasting and bullshit, all these years of what he's owned, why isn't he living good now? Why don't you answer that? Why aren't you living good now, sir? Why are you living in a disgusting, dilapidated, bacteria-ridden existence? Why? If you were that successful in your life, what happened? Why are you a pack rat? Why are you walking around painting everything yellow? That's what we need. We need a yellow sticker on it. Do we have a yellow donation on here? Yes, we do, actually. We have a $10 yellow donation. That's from DT24. That's yellow. Okay. You know, then it's proof of the pudding, man. Don't tell us about what you've accomplished and what you've owned and speedboats and Cobra cars and all this shit. Where is it now? You couldn't even keep the house in fucking Florida. He went and took a fucking loan out against the house, approximately $65,000, and he ran away to the fucking Philippines. Never paid back the fucking money. Lost the house. He's a liar. He's a liar. He's a scammer. He's a bullshit artist. He's delusional. Do I need to say more? It's sad. It's really sad. I just can't find myself to have any compassion for him. I just really can't do it. I find it hard. I'm sorry, and I am a compassionate person, but the things he's done to me that he's still trying to do. Charles Luciano says, Fozzie would rather use termite-infested wood and rusty nails. He don't want to spend the money on anything, which tells me he doesn't have a great income, and he is dependent on super chat, like we're getting right here on my show today. We're getting super chat. We are. We're getting super chat. Super chat. Super chat. He don't like it. He don't like it. No, I wouldn't.
When I get to Bantayan Island, remember, I'm going to beg you to do something. I'm going to get on my hands and knees in the Cuckoo Bar and Grill in a live stream and beg you to come to the Cuckoo.
I told you, man, I don't swing that way. I just don't swing that way. Hey, Gil, let's do the official thank you very much song to address all the contributors rather than just one. Then we can say the names of the contributors. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Salamat.
Salamat.
DT24, Walking Onion. Okay. To Panther. To Go-Go Bobo's sister. Salamat. Should we bang a pot? Maybe we should bang a pot. Maybe we should bang a pot or bang something. Maybe bang my head against the wall. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe we should get a pot and bang it. Bang, bang, bang it, or tape a rope and then hang it from the highest trees.
Hi.
I am loving it. Loving you all. I could not listen to that voice. I could not listen to the nonsense and the made up stories and storytelling bullshit. Jeff Geechee says, have you considered selling prints of the bomber behind bars photo signed? We could do that. That might not work well with the case, though. I don't know. Here it is. Isn't that just precious? Isn't that just fucking precious? It is. Got it right here against the wall on my counter. Isn't that precious? What's that worth to you, baby? What's that worth to you? What is that worth to you? My goodness. Sometimes, I'll be honest with you, I surprise myself. I do. When I put my mind to something, it does. I amaze myself sometimes. I mean, I really do. Hold on a second. Let's be happy, let's all sing. Using a heart and showing it to me. Let's be happy on my screen. Happy song. This is the way we should feel, folks. Be on the positive, not the negative. Celebrate life, baby. Celebrate happiness. Celebrate success of any measure. Clap our hands. Rejoice. Feel the love, baby. Feel the love, not the hate. Because that's what it's all about, man. Feeling good, living well, giving till it hurts, being generous to somebody, whether it's on the street or whether it's to a loved one, whether it's to a family member. Somebody that has done good for you or not necessarily done anything for you, but you just felt like giving. I've done this so often, I can't even count. No, like I said, I don't expect no rewards for the things I do off camera and some of the things I've actually shown on camera. I don't do that for show. I honestly don't. You either have love in your heart to give to somebody else. Well, the Philippines is a really interesting country in so many respects, the culture and everything. But it's disheartening sometimes when you see how people are living on here. It's just like I would say, if you're a billionaire, what do you need all that money for? Don't expect you have to give up your whole fortune. But it's good, and not just because of a tax write-off. Unfortunately, the wealthy give, and everybody thinks, oh, what a nice person he is. He's given to all these organizations, the billionaire. What a nice guy he is. Well, most of the time, he's doing it because, most of the time, he's doing it because it's a tax write-off, okay? But there are people who give with their heart, not expecting anything in return. Not expecting anything in return. Danny in Woods says the waffling flipper hunchback hobgoblin is pacing back and forth, racing it. At all your super chats, I'm sure. DT24 says, nice, Gogo. Did Gogo make another donation or something? I won't see it on my screen here, though. I don't know. Gogo, I'm sorry about that. I just, I went to the block list. I don't see Gogo Bobo's sister, that wording on that list. You do show up on Gilda's phone, though. That we can see that. You're there. You're out there. And I guess they're seeing you, which is
Yeah,
important.
49.99.
What did he give?
49.99. So $50 and
Holy shit. Gogo Boba's sister has donated almost $50. Buy a steak.
50 na 50. Another
$49.99
plus 99 cents.
plus the $19.99 earlier.
So 50.
Fucking A, man. So no, his earlier donation on your show was, yeah. Look at that guy. We got a $50 spot from Gogo Bobo's sister. Uh-oh.
51.
Someone's going to have a cardiac arrest out there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. I don't want to be responsible for that. Man, thank you for your kindness and your generosity, Gogo Bobo's sister, and everybody else who's donated on my show today.
Buy a stick.
Buy a steak. We may have to. Yeah, we appreciate that. You guys know I do. I'm a very appreciative person. And if you knew me personally, you would understand. You just don't know me personally. You never broke bread with me. Now, one person, Ricky, that broke bread with me, took my bread away from me. And he stole and ate all our Hungarian sausages. Darian Wood says, Ricky hasn't visited the waffle flipping hunchback hobgoblin in a while. Oh, the dog-faced cockroach. They're both dog-faced cockroach as far as I'm concerned. Charles Luciano says, you know Fazio is dying to eat 100 prawns. Oh, absolutely. God, this has been a great show today because we got some good dialogue. We're getting donations that are pissing people off. Damn, they're just pissing people off left and fucking right. Maybe we'll make a record-breaking show today. I don't really know. Don't matter. I'm actually appreciative of what I got on here, okay? I'm not going to be greedy and say I don't appreciate it. I do appreciate it. No Xboxes with that money. It's going in my fucking pocket. That's where it's going. The thing where I'm going to give out $25K during the Christmas season, it's going to come out of my pocket anyway. It doesn't mean it's coming out of it'll come out of my bank account or whatever. It don't matter. It's going to go out. Not necessarily from the super chats, but it's, what's going to be done is going to be done. Yeah. So I don't even mention, no, let's not call it a fund. Let's get real with it. Just say that I'm going to do what I'm going to do, period. And what's being sent to me on my show is lining my pocket. You goddamn right I am. Believe me. I've never been monetized much in my life on YouTube, and it's always nice to see that screen light up. Oh, Allo will make something out of this. They always got something negative to say. Fazio is going to go into a fucking conundrum, Call the police! Call the police! He's making illegal money! Call the police! Call the police! These are not real donations. He's sending money to himself. He's sending money to himself. Okay. Well, that would be a stupid thing. I've heard them do that before. Yeah, when somebody did a donation in the past, that was considered large. He probably donated that money to himself. Why the fuck would I do that? What sensibility would that make? There's a fee involved there. I mean, really. Really. So I like creating shows that are controversial, that people will use on their shows because it's so damn good. Because I really hit the nerve of some people on here. I hit that nerve and I made them react. Even do a show, a copycat show. I hit nerves on here. I did it with everybody, with Roberto and Allo and Popeye, and you go down the line, and Big Kevin and Barry and Fazio and so forth and so on. They're hating it that my show is going in an upward direction, no matter how you look at it. I got over 160 subscribers now and went up in this past month. I'm not buying them. That would be like utilizing my super chat money to waste it and go on buying these things. I just looked at my stats this morning. I forgot the figure, but there's like 167. I'm approaching 11,000 subscribers now. And some people say, you bought all that shit. That's not true. And yes, I've had that many views from my channel in 1 month. What figure did I give out? 20-something thousand something views in a 28-day period. I wasn't lying about that. Yeah. So I'm going to do it again. I have to do it on my own for Gogo Bobo's sisters again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Salamat to Gogo Bobo's sister on the newest donation of a couple that he's made already on here today. Salamat. I got to find something to bang. You want to bang my head, Gilda, or something? No?
You take the hammer?
Take the hammer or something, and bang my head? By the way, I'm not a sponsor of this, but Just for Men. Get that natural look. Don't use shoe polish to color your hair. It's a very unnatural thing, and it looks like you're wearing a wig. Now, I'm not a sponsor of this particular company. Just for Men. Just for Men, the natural type of hair dye. But you got to have the right color hair to make it work. You can't be 60 years old and dye your hair black and not see a shred of silver in it. It looks stupid. You look like Steven Seagal. How ridiculous that. Just for Men. Use it. Don't abuse it. Use it, don't abuse it. Good product. A lot of men use it. No really bad chemical dyes. It's a good product.
Easy to apply.
Easy to apply. Just for Men. Hair coloring.
And just pure
Don't get old.
Yeah.
Get rid of that gray. Don't go to bingo parlors at your age, because then you are old. Don't ride a little electric motor scooter to get to that bingo parlor with all the old folks with the khaki pants and the black shoes, or with the socks going up to your knee. That's when you gave up. That's when you gave up in life, is to go to fucking bingo. And that's your hobby. That's your hobby. I'll die before I ever go to a bingo parlor. I'll die before I will ever wear those long socks. Yeah. And we got something from Alpha Male here, huh? All the slights. Stupid people doing stupid things. Your face appears when you show the prefab cargo container. Thanks for that. Now I have a face channel shot. Use it or abuse it, baby. Use it or abuse it. Whatever floats your boat. How desperate this man is. How desperate. That wasn't me. That was somebody else. Not admissible. Not admissible. Not admissible at all. Oh, you can say he's listening to the show. He's mad. He's mad. Let's show him. Let's show him what we think about him. Let's light that screen up some more. He's having a nervous breakdown as we talk. He's mad because I spoke the truth. Is he not living in a caddy shack? Is he not? Is he living the life that he talks about? He knows Andy Warhol, and he had a drug cartel guy living right next to him in Florida. I was waiting to see you on camera. I could use that against you. Well, here's the difference. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you how the court of law works. Camera or not, let me tell you how it works. The law system works like this. If the information you're putting out about somebody, if it's untrue, yeah, that could work against you. But if the information that you're providing to a court, if it's known to the public, if it's known that he's really living in a caddy shack and his attitude, his demeanor on there and everything else, you're not lying. See, the court can't use that kind of shit against you. They can't use that against you because they They go by other values too, as a layman would look at something too. That's another thing they do. We won't get into that. There's a layman theory on this too, that even courts out here use. Okay? There's nothing I said about this guy that isn't true. That's the difference. Can you prove it to be truth? Yes or no? Yes. I can prove that he does live in a shack, that he is obnoxious, and everything I said on here about him is true. If it wasn't, a court of law could say, hey, that's like defaming somebody. If it wasn't true, that's like somebody calling me a sexual predator. It ain't true, right? So that's defamation. Is he doing a ridiculous diet that could kill him? Yes. Is it stupid? Yes. Is he a good carpenter? No. Is he living in a dilapidated structure? Yes. Would you imagine, because of the closed quarters in there and the toilet being close to the sink and everything, that is a bacterial hazard? Yes. What am I lying about? Is he obnoxious? Yes. Okay. Is he in denial of everything? Yes. So enjoy it. That's called desperation, that he had to come on my show and had to put those words in. You see, it's undeniable. That's the difference. Undeniability. If you're really living that life, then it's true to what I said. If you're really obnoxious, we can prove that you are. Okay? I could even prove that he had a lot to do with my tenants, because I have a video of him saying it on his show, that he's been in touch with my tenants, feeding them all that stuff. Oh, your shit stinks. Believe me. Don't think your shit don't stink. Oh, hell it does. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much to my donators on here. Salamat. Wait a minute. I think I should bang a pot. I'm sorry, but I think I should bang a small pot. Yeah, let's get some dough. Let's bang a pot. Let me go grab a pot. Rainbows, nothing but rainbows on my screen. Salamat to all the donations. All the truth. Gogo Bobo's sister and other donations on my show. At least I have rhythm. I don't want to put up. Yeah, Gilda's doing it. Come on, Gilda. Percussion. Here comes Gilda. Do it again. Rainbows. We want to see more rainbows. We had rainbows on my screen. Salamat for all the colors that appeared on my screen. How about a little more percussion here. I don't have drumsticks, but what can I accomplish here with what I have? I got rhythm. I'm more creative than him anyway. Rainbows, rainbows lighting up my screen. Rainbows, rainbows, if you know what I mean. We've had rainbows, we had colors, colors, colors. All right. Right on, brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters. We had rainbows today. We had colors today. But oh my God, Magnum. Oh my God, Magnum. I will tell you. Let's give praise to those who have come to my very special show today. And we appreciate the dialogue. We really do appreciate the super chat that you've given to my channel today. And oh my God. Oh my God. It shows that people can come through. That's what it does. If they really want to. Bang a pot to make a lot, if that's your gimmick. Although I don't need a gimmick. We're going to give him a taste of his own medicine. That's all. That's all. Give him a taste.
That was legitness. Yeah, it was. Don't you?
And we are going to do something very special today. I can't talk about. As soon as I get off this show, I got to shower up. I ate my breakfast. And there's something we have a little bit planned today to do. So, can't spend as much time as 2 hours and 42 minutes of a very productive show today. Very productive. And I appreciate all the cooperation we've had and all the support. People say my channel ain't growing, but that's not true. That's not true.
Oh my God!
Really?
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
And I'll leave off with saying that. Oh my God. Thank you for a fantastic show today. We'll talk to you probably tomorrow. And we got a bit of things to do around here today. I don't think I'm going to do any other shows today. At least not that I have planned anyway. But you've been a really good audience. And glad you showed up. You know, a little anecdote to all this. It is not my ambition to destroy somebody's reputation. That's not my ambition, although it might be theirs. Homie don't play that kind of game. I just kind of present the facts on my show when I need to. And I put that proverbial mirror in front of their face. If they see the ugliness in it, then I've accomplished my job very well. So that's all I really try to do on here when we have to get into this kind of politics on my show. I'm like anybody else. I'm just trying to live my life peaceably. And if people are envious in any way of my life or my girlfriend or this or that, it's really not my problem. It's yours. Try being happy for somebody. Try it on for size. You could achieve everything I tried to achieve and did achieve, for that fact. And remember, you're not committing a crime unless you're really committing a crime. And what the yellow man does do, and he's been committing crimes for a long, long time. All this planning and plotting he did with my tenants in Hawaii, that was criminal. That was criminal. He's lucky I don't open this up again. I'm just holding back and see how far he wants to go. But you know what? How I feel, and I've said it before, is that Mother Nature, if anything, is going to take care of that guy. Mother Nature. Either to kill himself by his ridiculous diet, or his pre-existing health conditions and his obesity, or his stupidity. Now, there is nothing on my show, even today, that I said in reference that is not true, that has not been demonstrated by this man. There is nothing on my show, and you can all attest to that. A little dose of the truth hurts people sometimes. Okay? That's human nature. But there's a limit where you got to draw the line with somebody when they went too far, and you're not going to let it loose. You're going to remember what they did. There's nothing wrong with my memory. I got number one in jail right now. He's going to be in jail for a very, 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 very long time. Some people feel they're lucky that they got away with a lot of shit on here. But that one day comes when their luck just runs out. Now you could go around trying to find faults with people your whole existence here and there, but you're wasting your own life, you're wasting your own time, your own precious breath. You have one foot on a banana peel and the other foot in a grave with some of you guys. What a waste of life. I get it. I understand about the loneliness and shit, man, but that's no excuse. There is no excuse. There is no excuse. With that being said, you've been a swell audience. Again, thank you for your generosity. I really appreciate it more than you know. Hope to see you again. Talk to you real soon. Thanks, guys.
Look at my horse is amazing. Give it a